Welcome to the news on Zodiak with me, Robert Kalua. The headlines. Majority of SADC heads of state arrive in the country for the 41st summit in Lilongwe. State House says President Lazarus Chakwera is scrutinizing names of people to be considered for position of Attorney General. NOCMA seeks government intervention in reclaiming $1.3 billion debt, which it claims Malawi Cargo Center Limited is failing to repay. And across the borders, Zambian outgoing President Edgar Lungu concedes defeat after landslide election win by opposition leader Hakainde Hichilema. We've got these and many more. Stick around. Majority of SADC heads of state have arrived in the country for the 41st summit in Lilongwe. The SADC leaders include Tanzania's Samia Suluhu Hassan and Namibia's Vice President Nangolo Mbumba, Zimbabwe's Emerson Mnangagwa, South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa, Botswana's Magotsi Mogoshira, the Masisi, and Madagascar's President Ande Rojolina. Western Guta with more in this report.
Leaders of the Southern African Development Community SADC will on Tuesday and Wednesday hold Heads of State Summit in Lilongwe. The leaders will, among other things, discuss security in the region with a special focus on northern Mozambique's Cabo Delgado, which has seen terrorist activities with masses of people killed and displaced. According to President Mokgweetsi Masisi of Botswana, the bloc's leaders will also discuss regional integration, which should see interstate trading in the region. Madagascar's President Andre Rajolina was the first to arrive on Sunday evening. Mozambique is the current chair, and Malawi will take over the reins. Reporting for Zodiak, I am Western Guta.
State House Director of Communications, Shoni Kampondeni, says President Lazarus Chakwera is scrutinizing names of people to be considered to the position of the Attorney General. Speaking Monday during the State House media brief in Lilongwe, Kampondeni says the President is working hand in hand with officials from the Ministry of Justice. Last month, President Chakwera fired Dr. Chikosa Sulungwe following termination of his contract. Details with Winston Gaimira.
During the media brief, Director of Communications at State House, Shoni Kampondeni, outlined a number of engagements which President Lazarus Chakwera carried out in the past 2 weeks. He disclosed that the President met Minister of Justice Titus Imvaro to discuss matters surrounding the appointment of new Auditor General. He said the President is already having a list of candidates, assuring people in the country that the position will be filled soon.
As you know, the President is fully engaged in the process of recruitment, of recruiting a new Attorney General in the Ministry of Justice. The President already has a short list of candidates that he is considering for the post, but he is doing thorough vetting of each of these individuals in order to make sure that every T is crossed and every I is dotted.
The State House Communications Director also disclosed that President Chakwera will hold bilateral talks with presidents of the Democratic Republic of Congo and Madagascar on the sidelines of the SADC summit. He also outlined a number of development activities being implemented under the current government administration, which include the construction of Njiri Bridge in Nzimba district. This is Winston Kaimira reporting for Zodiac in Lilongwe.
Meanwhile, State House says President Chakwera is engaging various stakeholders to find solutions to the recent upward adjustment of the cost of fertilizer. Director of Communications, Shoni Kampondeni, told journalists that the President has so far conducted talks with the Minister of Agriculture on the matter.
Over 3 million farming households in the country benefiting from the same, from Sanje to Chitipa. All of them are singing praises of the President for delivering on this promise. And so the idea that in year 2 of the Chakwera administration, farmers should be made anxious by rising prices of fertilizer is something that is of great concern to the President, and he is very keen to address this issue head on. And that's why over the course of the past weeks, he has had direct engagements not only with the Minister of Agriculture, but also other stakeholders such as ADMARC, and he is looking forward to the same with some of the people in the country that supply fertilizer. They need to remember and understand that they work in a country whose economy is built on the backbone of agriculture.
Meanwhile, agriculture commercialization drive has received a boost in Chikwawa with a pledge by presscane manufacturers of fuel ethanol to plant a sugarcane mill which gives farmers a readily available market. The development follows determination by smallholder farmers under Kama Cane Growers Cooperative to open a 2,000-hectare sugarcane estate. Agriculture Minister Robin Lowe has described the initiative as a right step towards wealth creation. From Chikwawa, here is Masozi Kasambara with a report.
Presscane, the manufacturers of fuel ethanol, is a subsidiary of Press Corporation. At present, Presscane Distillery relies on Ilovo Sugar Company as a source of feedstock. The raw materials from Ilovo Company, however, are not enough to meet the demand by Presscane Distillery. As a result, Presscane has been importing raw materials from neighboring Zambia and Mozambique. Authorities say the importation is not only expensive, but also a lost economic opportunity for local cane growers. Presscane has since challenged smallholder farmers to venture into a fully-fledged cane growing, saying the market is readily available. Company Chief Executive Officer is Dr. Christopher Guta.
Assistance that we can give them is to assure them of a market. And as a company, we are doing everything possible to ensure that that market becomes available. But the tricky situation is that for us to say, yes, we should invest into the sugarcane mill, there must be 100% or even 101% assurance that the sugarcane will become available.
On their part, the farmers under Kama Cane Growers Cooperative have earmarked a 2,000-hectare land for cane growing. Chairperson responsible is Collins Mtarika.
Our relationship is good because at each and every step we are doing it together. There is no hide and seek arrangement. Everything is done in a transparent and accountable manner.
Agriculture Minister Robin Lowe says the plans by Presscane and smallholder farmers is a right step towards food and wealth creation, which is in tandem with Agenda 2063.
I find the relationship being cordial and very fruitful, considering that farmers seem to enjoy that relationship compared to other engagements whereby farmers are just used. But here it seems farmers know what they are doing and their benefit. That's why my ministry is able to engage agriculture commercialization project, the source of funding, to make sure that they intervene.
If Presscane plants a sugarcane mill and the farmers open a 2,000-hectare sugarcane estate, reduction of unemployment levels will be one of the many benefits of the initiative. For Zodiak, Masos Kasambala reporting from Chikwawa.
The High Court's Commercial Division in Blantyre has sent back an application by Maranatha Academy on an injunction against eviction of students at Matindi campus. The Academy's director, Enes Kawonga, told journalists the court has directed that the school files the application before the judge who authorized sheriffs to close the school a few days ago. Meanwhile, Kawonga says the school has entered into an agreement with Astep Private School at Luchenza in Cholo to accommodate the students from next Monday.
The judge has redirected us to say, can you please do your application through the judge Sungama, because initially Lusungu counsel for Mr. Nselebo brought us a summon, so it came from Justice Sungama. So the judge said it's proper that even the injunction for which we are applying should be done by the same justice. Our arguments are saying the injunction is illegal. It's illegal because all rentals are paid. At the meantime, we have come to find a solution. We love our kids and we love our institution. Maranatha will be Maranatha. And I'm saying Maranatha is unstoppable. What we've done is to find a place for our kids. On Sunday, they are supposed to report back to school. We found a place in Luchenza. There is an institution there called Astep. It used to be called Astep, now it will be called Maranatha. Our students will be there on Sunday, and on Monday they're resuming classes.
You're watching the news here on Zodiac. We'll be back with more after this.
Malawi Assemblies of God University, a reputable university registered and accredited by Malawi government through the National Council for Higher Education, is pleased to announce its August 2021 intake. Programs offered: Faculty of Commerce, Faculty of Education, and Faculty of Theology. For more information, contact 0884 538 163.
I got a call from my driver telling me that my motor vehicle was involved in an accident in Balaka. I was shocked and very worried, considering that the car was only 4 months old.
Get your vehicle covered against road accidents, fire, theft, and third-party liabilities at CIC General Insurance Limited.
I submitted all my claim documents to my insurer, CIC, and within 14 days, I got my settlement through a bank transfer. I was very delighted and inspired. Later, I managed to purchase a replacement vehicle. Throughout the process, CIC staff were very diligent, friendly, accommodating, and professional all the time.
Our professional and friendly staff will ensure that you get the best customer experience that is second to none. For more information, visit our offices in Lilongwe at Area 3 Judge Building, opposite the District Commissioner's office. And in Blantyre, visit our offices at Livingstone House behind Plantation House.
I recommend CIC all day, every day for all your insurance needs.
CIC, we keep our word.
Hello and welcome to this week's tobacco sales update after 17 weeks in the 2021 tobacco marketing season. A reduced rate of no-sale rejection has been recorded in week 17 compared to that registered in week 16 this year. The rate decreased from 64% in week 16 to 50% in week 17. The seasonal average price of all tobacco types remains high at $1.62 per kg in week 17 this season compared to $1.53 per kg registered during the same comparative period last year. By the end of 17 weeks of sales, 118.6 million kilograms of all tobacco types had been traded, from which revenue totaling $191.5 million has been generated this year. During the same comparative period last year, 109.7 million kilograms of all tobacco types were sold, and the country realized $168 million. Finally, the Tobacco Commission has announced that the 2021 tobacco marketing season ends this Wednesday, 18th of August 2021, with the closure of the Lilongwe and Mzuzu auction floors. That's all for this week. Thanks for joining us.
I choose to be smart. I choose to live a simple and easy life. I choose not to line up to pay my bills. This is why I go digital. Jump the queue. Pay your Lilongwe Water Board bills through mobile banking, or you can pay through mobile money, as I always do. You can also check your water bill and balance by simply dialing *253#. With digital payments, you can save time and money. Be smart. Pay your bills on time.
Lilongwe Water Board.
Lilongwe Water Board. Portable water all the time for all.
Munthu mmodzi payekha sangamange mudzi, koma anthu angapo kubwera pamodzi timati uwu nde mudzi. Pamodzi tili ndi kuthekera kobweretsa chitukuko mdera lathu. Network yathu ya Chimalawi ya TNM yakhala ikuthandiza madera ambiri mu njira zosiyanasiyana. Komano pano TNM ikufuna kupitiriza ntchitoyi mogwirizana ndi ife eni ake amudzi. Ndinkani yabweretsa TNM mudzi wathu. Mukagwiritsa ntchito TNM poimba foni kutumiza ma SMS, kugwiritsa ntchito internet, kapena kugwiritsa ntchito mpamba, chaka chilichonse TNM idzipereka 1% kapena 1 kwacha pa 100 kwacha iliyonse ya ndalama zomwe yapanga kuti ithandizire pa chitukuko chomwe anthu akufuna mdera lawo. Tikabwera pamodzi ndi kugwirizana chimodzi, tikhoza kupanga zazikulu m'mudzi wathu. TNM mudzi wathu. Umodzi unamanga mtolo. Ndondomeko zidzatsatidwa.
Welcome back. A look at the headlines as we continue. Majority of SADC heads of state arrive in the country for the 41st summit in Lilongwe. State House says President Lazarus Chakwera is scrutinizing names of people to be considered for position of Attorney General. NOCMA seeks government intervention in reclaiming $1.3 billion debt which it claims Malawi Cargo Center Limited is failing to repay. Across the border, Zambia's outgoing president Edgar Lungu concedes defeat after landslide election win by opposition leader Hakainde Hichilema. Moving on with the news, Director of Immunization in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Mike Chiseva, has called on Malawians to avoid falling into the temptation of mixing AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson vaccines as officials resume administering the first type in the same sports Johnson & Johnson vaccine is being offered. Over the weekend, the country received nearly 120,000 doses of AstraZeneca vaccine and administration commenced on Monday. In Blantyre, a majority of people in vaccination centers were seeking second dose of the AstraZeneca over the Johnson & Johnson. Details in this report by Karen Chinembiri.
Spot checks at some vaccination sites in Blantyre have revealed there is still a coded response to vaccination exercise where Johnson & Johnson and the AstraZeneca vaccines are being administered. A visit to Blantyre Youth Center, Gateway Clinic and the District Health Office vaccination sites registered a low turn-up of people who mostly are coming for AstraZeneca vaccine. Some residents expressed that they have no choice but to get the AstraZeneca as they had already received their first dose.
We can say that at first we didn't have a choice because we only had AstraZeneca. So we got that, and since we have been vaccinated, I have not seen any problems. So that's why today I decided to come and get my second jab.
Another resident applauded the government for giving people to choose the vaccine they want and the separation so as not to confuse people.
I think, in my opinion, only just to make things, I think, much easier. Because there's sort of interaction. If you get in there, they're asking you a question. But you have two vaccines, two types, I can say. Which one are you preferring? If you are saying Johnson, is when they are referring you to the other site there across that I've already indicated.
Blantyre District received 16,880 AstraZeneca doses out of the 119,040 that arrived on Saturday.
And from Muzuzu, we have Towera Kumwenda.
A visit to St. John's Hospital and Zoo's Health Center, we established that people who wanted to get the AstraZeneca jab are being sent back as the vaccine is yet to arrive at the centers. Some of the health officials that we spoke with at both of the centers say they believe that the vaccine will arrive later today and that administering of the vaccine could commence tomorrow, which is Tuesday. One of the officers that we spoke with at St. John's Hospital, Elizabeth Chabwedeka, has told us that so far there haven't been any confusions on mixing of the vaccines and that the officers communicate beforehand before administering the jab. Chabwedeka also said that people are more interested in getting one jab of Johnson & Johnson as compared to the two doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine. We also found that the centers have had a fair number of people turning up to get the Johnson & Johnson jab.
National Oil Company of Malawi has asked government to help in reclaiming $1.3 million debt, which the company claims the Malawi Cargo Center Limited, based in Tanzania, is failing to repay. NOCMA Deputy Executive Officer Helen Buluma told the Parliamentary Committee on Natural Resources on Monday that the MCCL is showing no commitment to start repaying the loan for 3 years. The committee's Vice Chairperson, George Milioni, has assured NOCMA that necessary action will be taken on the matter. Alinafe Mulamba with more in this report.
Deputy Chief Executive Officer for the National Oil Company of Malawi, Helen Buluma, told the Parliamentary Committee on Natural Resources that the Malawi Cargo Center Limited is failing to honor debt conditions, whose agreement was that MCCL starts repaying a $1.3 million debt from 2018. The debt came about after government instructed NOCMA to meet the cost of rehabilitating fuel tanks and pipeline for the Tanzanian-based fuel depot in Mbeya and Dar es Salaam. According to NOCMA, the initial arrangement was that MCCL will start repaying the debt in installments for 5 years once the facilities are in use. Vice Chairperson for the Parliamentary Committee on Natural Resources, George Milioni, has stressed that the committee will ensure that the 3-year due debt is repaid.
We have asked the Ministry of Energy to take over ownership of the Malawi Cargo Center. That's one. The second issue is that the depot at Mbeya in Tanzania is very short to Malawi. So we have encouraged them, the NOCMA and PIL, to think of maximizing the use of the Mbeya depot so that the cost of transportation of fuel can be reduced.
MCCL is currently privately owned on lease, and the committee has instructed the Minister of Energy to reclaim the facility.
The main opposition Democratic Progressive Party DPP has reversed its decision to dismiss 4 senior officials from the party. The 4, Vice President for the South, Konrad Nankuma, Secretary General Griseda Jeffrey, Treasurer General Jape Mhango, and Mulanje West parliamentarian Yusuf Ntenda, were fired in October last year for alleged gross misconduct. They sought court relief to be reinstated in their positions pending a judicial review. But in a sudden twist of events, the party's Administrative Secretary, Francis Mpepo, in a separate letter to the 4, dated 10th August 2021, informs them that the Central Executive Committee of the party has rescinded the decision to expel them. More in this report.
The supposed reinstatement of the 4 officials appears to be aimed at mending broken trust and relationship within the party rank and file. Yusuf Ntenda, who was one of the people expelled from the party, has confirmed with Zodiak that the party has written them letters welcoming them back to the party on their previous positions. Political analysts hope that this will rejuvenate the party. Mustafa Hussein of Chancellor College has tipped the party leadership to cultivate honesty in their dealings if the DPP is to make a formidable opposition.
All I can say is that there is need to follow procedure, protocol, and respect when dealing with such matters, so that if they are solving a problem, it should be solving a problem and not starting other controversies.
Meanwhile, Yusuf Ntenda has told Zodiac that they will still wait for the court ruling on their petition regarding holding of party convention.
And news from elsewhere, Zambian President Edgar Lungu has conceded defeat after a landslide election win by opposition leader Hakainde Hichilema, marking the Southern African country's 3rd peaceful handover of power to an opposition party. Lungu, making an announcement, said he will comply with the constitutional provisions for a peaceful transition of power.
With great honor, I want to thank you, Zambian people, for giving me a great opportunity to be your president. I will forever cherish and appreciate that authority you vested in me. Countrymen, women and the youth, all I ever wanted to do was to serve my country to the best of my abilities. And together with you, we indeed scored in many areas. Of course, there were challenges on the way, But what I appreciated most was your support during the tough times. Countrymen, women, and the youth, we held our general elections on Thursday, 12th August 2021, and the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, have released the final election results. Based on the revelation of the ECZ final results, I will comply with the constitutional provisions for a peaceful transition of power. I would therefore like to congratulate my brother, the President-elect, His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, for becoming the 7th Republican President. Countrymen, women and the youth, let me also congratulate all those who participated in this general election and won at various levels. To those who did not, there is always another time. Lastly, I would like to thank all those who voted for my party, the Patriotic Front, and myself. To you, I say your vote was not in vain. Please continue supporting us. Countrymen, women and the youth, I wish you well, and may the good Lord bless our republic, Zambia. I thank you.
And that's about what we had time for in this edition of news. But before we go, a look at the headlines. Majority of SADC heads of state arrive in the country for the 41st summit in Lilongwe. State House says President Lazarus Chakwera is scrutinizing names of people to be considered for position of Attorney General. NOCMA seeks government intervention in reclaiming $1.3 million debt, which it claims Malawi Cargo Center Limited is failing to repay. Across the borders, Zambian outgoing President Edgar Lungu concedes defeat after landslide election win by opposition leader Hakainde Hichilema. Visit our website zodiacmalawi.com for more news. I'm Robert Kawa. Thanks for watching.